children, how are you? Welcome back to our digital class in English. In today's sessions we are going to learn the attitude of great personality, and before going to learn the attitude of this personality, let's once look at the objectives of this lesson. Children, you will be able to make an effort to read and comprehend the text. Think on the passage you have read. Learn to use the unfamiliar words in real life situations. Construct the possible discourses from the slot. Get inspired by the achievements of differently abled persons. Children, would you like to learn about a great personality who is differently abled? Here is a video about his childhood achievements and awards. Please watch it. It has been interviewed by one of your classmates of class 10.
Good morning, Mr. Srinivasrao. How are you?
Fine. I am very happy and fine. Good.
It seems you are busy with reading newspaper.
Yeah. I have always read the paper because what is happening in our country. Just I want the news, and then we go to activities.
That's great, sir. At this age of 64, you are very active in all aspects.
Yes.
You seem to have no problems as a normal man. So, how did you achieve many great things in your life?
I am not feel without leg. I am a normal person.
Hi, dear friends. You have come to know about Mr. Madhasu Srinivasrao in his lips. He is a role model to the society. He is the pride of our state. He says self-confidence is very essential value that a man should have. I personally feel very proud of him. He also says one's willpower shall take him to a great height or altitude. Where there is a will, there is a way. Hi friends, enjoy your lesson in
Children, let's share our opinions related to the video. Sit together and answer the following questions. What is this video about? Do you know the person you have watched in the video? Have you ever seen such a person in real life? What do you think is wrong with him? What are the special activities that he can do despite his disability? How does his life prove to be a model to us? Where was he born? Children, now look at the slide and check your answers. What is this video about? It's about a great sportsman. Do you know the person you have watched in the video? Yes, he is Mr. Madhasu Srinivasrao, an extraordinary athlete. Have you ever seen such a person in your real life? Yes, we have. What do you think is wrong with him? He is differently abled, physically challenged person, and he has no proper legs to do his routine works. What are the special activities that he can do despite his disability? He has been participating in all kinds of sports. How does his life prove to be a model to us? He is a great inspiration to the society. Where was he born? He was born at Garrepalli, a village in Sultanabad Mandala, Peddapalli district of erstwhile Karimnagar district. Now children, let us know about the success story of a man who was brought up in Melbourne, Australia. His attitude made him go up to a greater height in spite of his disability. Here is an interesting video on him. Please watch it carefully. Children, you may have already watched this video on Nick's childhood. Now let us think of some of the events about Nick's childhood. Nick is an inspiring personality. He was born in Melbourne, Australia. His mother was a nurse and father a computer programmer and accountant. He was a torso, born with no arms and no legs. Despite his disability, he became a successful person. His rare disability is called phocomelia. He would call his torso chicken drumstick jocularly. Shall we learn some new words from the part we have learned in this session? Children, look at the glossary part of it. We have the first word torso, the main part of the body, not including head, arms or legs. Next word, chicken drumstick, the lower part of the leg of a chicken or other bird that is cooked and eaten as food. Now let us think of some more questions on this. Who do you think was the child you have seen? Have you observed anything wrong with him? How does he look? What do you feel about him? What is his disability known as? Where do you think he was born? What do you think are his parents? What would Nick call his torso? I hope you have learnt about Nick's childhood. Now shall we learn something more about Nick, how he managed his routine duties. Here is an interesting video on his activities. Please watch it carefully.
But those who succeed are the ones who never give up. I believe God's in control. And when life doesn't make sense, we know that God still has a plan, hope, and a future for each and every one of us. When God doesn't change a circumstance, we know that He can use it for good, that others may see the power of Christ in us. I've realized that God is more interested in changing my heart than my circumstance. And this is the purpose that we are called to live for, to be a living testimony to those around us, that they can see the victory that we can live in by the power of His Holy Spirit. And maybe these challenges that are present in my life are not just for me to be more dependent on God, but to be an example and a visual aid of God's strength and victory through my weakness. When I was younger, I used to be adamant about being independent in my daily living. But now I see that it's so much easier having a caregiver, and that gives me more time and energy to do the things that God's called me to do. When attempting to achieve your dreams, it seldom happens the first time. But those who succeed are the ones who never give up.
Children, let us learn some important points about how Nick managed his routine duties. Please make a note of these important things here, and how Nick's parents helped him to overcome his disability. His parents wanted to make him do his duties independently. His father taught him how to swim when he was 18 months old. It encouraged him and gave courage to learn how to swim at this tender age. His mother invented a special plastic device to hold a pen and a pencil. He achieved a degree in financial planning and real estate. He had an electric wheelchair for mobility and a team of caretakers to help him. He cleans his teeth with a wall-mounted brush. He also managed to wash his own hair with some pump action soap. Children, now let us look at some new words that we come across in this part of the reading text. Glossary. Tender, physically weak, not able to endure hardship. And another word is here an antonym to learn: independently, dependently, wall mounted, fixed on the wall. Now children, shall we share our experiences on the part of the things we have learnt about Nick. How old was Nick when he was trained in swimming? How does Nick clean his teeth? What did his mother invent for him to hold a pen or a pencil? In what games is he really interested? How does he move from one place to another? Why did Nick want to kill himself? How does Nick wash his own hair? How did Nick manage to become an international symbol of triumph over adversity? Now children, you may have learnt about Nick as how he managed to do his duties on par with normal people. Shall we learn his growth and development and achievements in his life? Here is a video about his achievements. Please watch it.
It was a surprise to my parents that their firstborn son was going to be born without limbs. When they saw me, the doctor saw me, and they said, sorry, we have no explanation. And still to this day, it remains a mystery. They called it phocomelia, which means being born without limbs for no medical reason. It was definitely difficult in those fragile early years of childhood, and even in teenage years, trying to work out the truth of my value, that it's not determined on whether I have arms and legs or not, or how many friends I have. And I just took it one day at a time, and realizing that we're all different, but I don't need to be someone I'm not. I just need to be the best me I can be. I love swimming just for recreation and floating, and just a very peaceful thing that I do for relaxation. Because I have no arms and legs that weigh me down, I actually float like a life vest. I've learned how to move around the pool and even in the ocean and even on a surfboard. It was an incredible experience jumping out of a plane at 13,500 feet. That experience of free falling was one of the most freeing and just, this is cool. And so to me, it was a great, fun, unique experience. I mean, I love adrenaline. I really, really do. I will never do it again. Really, only because I'm now a father. So cute. Look how beautiful my boy is. Oh, I miss him so much. At 17, my janitor at my high school, we made friends. And he looked at me one day and he, to my surprise, said, "You're going to be a speaker." And I said, "You're a crazy old man." I said, "What do you think I'm going to speak about?" He said, "Your story." I said, "I don't have a story." He said, "Yes, you do." My doctors never thought that I'd be able to walk. And today, I'm walking. For anyone who's embarking on a new season or chapter in their life, for instance, in corporate America, it was a big, big step for me to move from Australia to Los Angeles, and you'll always have obstacles. When we live in such a competitive world, it's very easy to talk yourself out of trying again. It's very easy to talk yourself out of doing anything new.
Nick was motivated by an article published in a newspaper which was about a disabled man. He decided to use his life to encourage other people and give them courage. He went to Hawaii to meet his surfing master, Bethany Hamilton, who was also a disabled. Her arm was bitten off by a shark at the age of 12. In 1990, Nick won Australian Young Citizen of the Year award for his bravery and perseverance. Nick, being a motivational speaker, he travelled over 24 countries since 2008. Through his evangelical speeches, Nick spreads his message of faith and hope around the world. He presents values, principles, attitudes, and perspectives. Children, shall we learn some new words and their meanings? Glossary. Motivate, to provide someone to do something, to encourage. Motivate and its antonym is demotivate. Surfing, taking part in the sport of riding on waves on a surfboard. Evangelical, pertaining to the teaching of the gospel or the Christianity. Children, let's share our experiences on Nick's achievements based on this video and the text you have read. Who is Nick's surfing master? What was wrong with her? What does Nick present out of his personality? How did the newspaper article inspire him? He wanted to use his life for others. In what ways? Why do you think Nick was awarded the Australian Young Citizen of the Year award? Why do you think Nick went to Hawaii? What message does Nick give on one's failure in doing anything? Children, so far we have learnt all about Nick. Now I would like to assign you one classroom task. Let's go with it, and this is a mind mapping activity. Let's complete it within the classroom. Here at the center you can find the different qualities that made Nick, the great qualities that made Nick to be a successful man in his life. First of all, dedication. Then determination. Self-confidence. Bravery and perseverance. Faith and courage. hard working, positive thinking, finally discipline. These are the great qualities that made Nick to be a successful man in his life. These are the great qualities that made Nick a successful man in his life. Okay children, now I am going to give you an assignment to do it with the help of your teacher. Imagine you got an opportunity to interview Nick on his success story. How will you interview him? Your interview should reflect the following ideas in it. Nick's childhood days, how he handled different things on his own, people who supported him, reasons for depression, decision to kill himself, his achievements. Remember the following points to make use of in your discourse to be constructed. Begin with proper introduction, make use of the discourse markers or cohesive devices, pose questions relevant to the context and elicit the responses. End with the appropriate closing, follow social norms and apt responses, write 10 or 12 exchanges. Okay children, with the help of your teacher you can construct the discourse of interview, but while constructing the discourse of interview, please go through the instructions or whatever the features that pertain to interview are given. Without going through the instructions, please do not go for construction of any kind of discourse. And I will be waiting for the interviews that you come with in my next class. Hope you have enjoyed the class yourself. Bye children.